Dear colleagues, we start our working day traditionally with a joint briefing by the spokesman of anti-terrorist operation Leonid Matyukhin via Skype and Vladyslav Seleznyov, who is an acting spokesman for the General Staff. So the floor is yours, Vlad. Good morning, colleagues. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. And I have to inform you of the following. The Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Lieutenant General Stepan Poltorak, talked on the phone with Vice Prime Minister, Minister for National Defense of the Republic of Poland, Tomasz Simoniak, and Minister for Defense of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Imangalitas Magambetov. They have talked about the current military and political situation in Ukraine, the situation and prospects of bilateral cooperation. And today, the Minister of Defense of Ukraine will talk to the National Defense Minister of Lithuania, Juozas Olekas, about the cooperation in security and defense sphere. The working trip of the Minister of Defense of Ukraine is on a working visit to Lviv garrison. During his first day there, he visited the Academy of Land Forces, where he got acquainted with the system of training of Ukrainian officers and also with the modern center of imitation modeling of combat action. Yesterday in Donetsk, there was a working meeting of the representatives of OSCE, Ukraine, Russia, and the so-called military leadership of some districts of Donetsk region. The Ukrainian side was represented by Major General Alexander Rozmaznin, and during the meeting they considered the issues linked to the fulfillment of Minsk agreements, and a special attention was paid to avoidance of the increase of firing and the use of heavy armaments and ceasefire in the vicinity of Donetsk airport and the settlement of Pesky. Major General Alexander Rozmaznin has answered all the questions from the members, participants in the working meeting. It is expected that there will be a protocol devised about the full ceasefire. The Ukrainian military armed forces continue to get new and modernized armaments and military machinery from the state-owned defense enterprises. Over the last days, the troops have got 18 worm traps for aviation, aircraft, 12 lorries, and 2 aviation rockets. Besides, the armed forces got over 65 tons of fuel and oil, liquids, more than 1,100 sets of body armor, 3,700 warm jackets, and 1,000 warm trousers, and so on. The repair brigades of military units and state-owned enterprises have restored 10 armored vehicles and 43 cars and lorries. All in all, from the start of anti-terrorist operation, for the units of the armed forces of Ukraine, they have repaired and restored 18,361 vehicles and units of armaments, including 3,890 armed vehicles, 12,386 lorries and cars, 67 aircraft, airplanes, 42 helicopters, 24 drones, and so on. As charity assistance, the troops have got 198 sets of masking mesh, 66 mobile barriers of security, 41 electric station, and 1,670,000 topographic maps. Also some firewood. The cooperation between volunteers and Ukrainian army continues. The foundation Wings of the Phoenix, with the cooperation with the rear service of Armed Forces of Ukraine, have delivered to military units 5 mobile laundry car sets. They were bought at the expense of volunteers and average Ukrainian citizens. Another 3 units that were bought by the foundation funds Wings of the Phoenix are being re-equipped to become shower cabins. Mykolaiv volunteers within the framework of the initiative People's Project also have prepared a laundry complex equipped with 7 laundromats, a pumping station, diesel generator, and it is absolutely autonomous and can work both on the sites of temporary and constant location of the troops. Also, at the expense of People's Project, the military have got a laser distance measurer with a distance of action with a capacity up to 10 kilometers. The servicemen of the Armed Forces of Ukraine continue to provide help to citizens of Luhansk and Donetsk region. In one of these days, with the help of Ukrainian military servicemen, almost 50 tons of humanitarian help were delivered to Debaltseve and Vuhlegirsk, Olkhovatka, Kamyshatka, and Bulavinska. The citizens have got warm clothes and foodstuffs, also hygienic and first necessity goods. The servicemen of tank units of the Armed Forces of Ukraine visited more than 70 poor families and old people in Krasnivka, Kasyanivka, Privilna, and Kirillivka, not far from Mariupol. They greeted them with the new year and gave them the goods of first necessity and food. In the nearest time, the military servicemen plan to visit another 60 poor families and also transfer gifts from volunteers to kids in 3 kindergartens. The journalists of FM Halichina in Lviv region will be able to hear the greetings from servicemen who are on combat mission in the east of Ukraine. Those greetings will be with the new year. They have phoned and recorded servicemen from the front line, and this action has taken place with the support from the Western Regional Media Center of the Minister of Defense of Ukraine. In Luhansk region, at the Starobilsk House of Culture, the leader of the rock group Vopli Viduplyasov Oleg Skripka and poet Les Podrevyansky gave a concert to the participants in the anti-terrorist operation. They sang and they read out humor stories and dramas. And the volunteers who came with the artists have given to the military servicemen the warm footwear, linen, underwear, and now the floor is given to Captain Second Rank Leonid Matyukhin, who will talk you about the events in the zone of anti-terrorist operation. The last night in the zone of the anti-terrorist operation was relatively calm. The illegal armed formations have 3 times provoked the Ukrainian military using small firearms and mortars. From mortars, the gunmen have fired at the outskirts of Olenivka, and from small firearms, they have twice fired at the Avdiivka settlement. And there is also the activation of the drones of the enemy. Yesterday, at approximately 10 p.m., they were 4 times detected in the sky over Talakivka and Hnutovka. Thank you very much. Shall we switch to questions? Do we have any questions? I have a question, Leonid. Yesterday there was a information about clashes next to Mariupol and the reinforcement of road checkpoints to the east of the city. The detailed information will be published later, because when the representatives of authorities will come, then they will tell you more about this. Thank you very much. Have a good day and calm night. Talk to you tomorrow, and our next briefing is at 12:30. Thank you very much.